Saudi Arabia's anti-corruption crackdown. Saudi authorities have now reportedly transferred Prince Al-Walid bin Talal and the remaining detainees from the Ritz-Carlton Hotel to a high-security prison. Nearly 60 detainees apparently removed, we're being told. We want to bring in an advisor to Prince Al-Walid bin Talal and chairman of Aris Holdings, Casey Green. Casey, it's good to have you on the program this morning.
Good to be with you, Mark.
And I know that you've advised Prince Al-Walid on his investment decisions. You've also advised the French government. You have been very active in the Mideast and Europe in terms of consulting. What do you make of all of this and the kingdom's corruption sweep?
Well, I also advise a lot of U.S. companies, and I think that's very important to understand what's happening in Saudi. When you take a step back of this crackdown and you see the global vision of the Crown Prince, I think it was needed for Saudi Arabia to have such a young leader that take the leadership of the country, and he's facing a lot of challenges in Saudi right now, in military front, on the economic front, on the social front, and he has worked the last 2 years on a plan called Vision 2030 to fight to meet these challenges and to fix the issues that he has identified. And I think the corruption is a huge issue in Saudi Arabia. It has never been told so publicly, and I think it is a good thing that to identify it and to fight it. And I think the message to say that nobody is above the law is a very important message to send to the Saudi people, to the Saudi ecosystem, and to foreign investors.
Yes.
The concern that most of the people have right now in the US, in France, is that this message should be, in Saudi Arabia, you have a rule of law where nobody is above. But the rule of law is very important to define and to present it, to make the foreign investors secure about it.
Prince Al-Walid has been imprisoned now for a long time, and there have been others that have been released. People are not asking the question, what did Prince Al-Walid do? Did he support Muslim Brotherhood? Did he support terrorism? What did Prince Al-Walid do? You have been his advisor for a long time. What can you tell us?
I advised the former French president and the government at the Sovereign Wealth Fund, right? And when you look at the story between France and Prince Al-Walid, we wanted to build a Saudi-French investment fund at that time, and we were happy to identify the best partners, and PIF was not as structured as it is today. So we identified Prince Al-Walid as the best partner to team up with, right?
To the French government.
To the French government.
Right, you put that partnership together.
Yeah.
But because Prince Al-Walid is a name that we all know, Western people have dealt with him. He's been a partner with Bill Gates. He's been a partner with other CEOs. Yeah. We want to know why he's still in jail and what he did.
Well, I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is that we identified him because he was compatible with France, he was defending women's rights. He was extremely patriotic to Saudi Arabia. He was the largest Saudi investors in France and the largest investor in Saudi Arabia.
But MBS is calling this a corruption crackdown.
Yeah.
Is that the way you see it, a corruption crackdown?
I think so.
Yes.
I look at I listen to the Saudi public prosecutor, and I follow the news, obviously, and I'm very careful about the other news around, which are most of them fake news.
But is Al-Walid saying, look, I'm not going to agree that I'm corrupt, so I'll stay in prison? Is that what he's saying?
I think there is a process going on, and it's very difficult for anybody to comment on what's going on. And few people have been released and free and innocent. So, I think we should let this process going on and respect the Saudi authorities.
Have you spoken with Prince Al-Walid?
Once, yeah.
How's he doing?
He's good. He's good.
What did he say?
He doesn't say much. He's just still very supporting to the Crown Prince. He has been extremely supportive to the Crown Prince, publicly, privately, in the meetings with the president. Even 2 years ago, when the Crown Prince was not Crown Prince, he was Deputy Crown Prince, he was still presenting him as the future of Saudi Arabia.
Do you expect he's going to have to give up part of his fortune in order to get out?
Well, I don't know the charges. I don't know.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. What are the charges? That's right.
Yeah, I don't know the charges. I don't know what's the process, behind it. I think he's being treated very well. I think he has access to kind of a defense.
Well, we just reported that they moved them from the Ritz-Carlton to a high-security prison.
I don't know about it. That's not official, and I can't comment on things and sources that.
So
are
you're
not
not
official.
sure about that?
No.
Have you spoken with Prince Al-Walid's family?
No. I did not. I very much focus. After this Saudi-French investment fund, I very much focused my efforts on the U.S. relation. Following the election of President Trump that I had the honor to meet last year in July, we agreed to bring more and more U.S. companies in Saudi Arabia. And the concern that the French have, the U.S. investors already also have it. And I think it's very important for Saudi Arabia that I support, that I will that I will add value through all of these partners in the entertainment, Silicon Valley and Hollywood companies to show that there is a due process behind all of this crackdown. And I think, and I trust the Crown Prince. I've met him. He's a very smart, very wise leader, and I think he's going to do it. And I think, everybody should be relaxed on what's happening. Things are not out of control. It's really under control with all of the parties.
Well, I think you make a good point, because the Saudis want to take their oil company public.
Yeah.
The Saudi Aramco deal is going to be a big deal. London wants the deal. New York wants the deal. Hong Kong wants the deal. Short list for Saudi Aramco's big public debut. What are the ramifications of that deal, given what's going on right now?
Well, that's a good point. I think this year will be a critical year for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
2018. I mean, we will have the IPO of Aramco, which is very exciting for most of the investors. Most of the stock exchanges are fighting around.
Well, I mean, it's part of this overall change. I mean, I interviewed the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness, incoming president of, the incoming king, rather, of Saudi Arabia. I interviewed him in October. And he basically said, look, we're doing this corruption crackdown because we want to live like normal people. Here's what he said.
We want to live a normal life, a life that translates our moderate religion, our good customs. We coexist and live with the world and contribute to the development of our country and the world. This is something that there are steps that we have taken in the past that are clear. I believe that we will eradicate the rest of extremism very soon. So I don't think this is a real challenge, because we represent the moderate teachings and principles of Islam, and we have the right. The right is on our side.
This was a huge statement that the incoming king of Saudi Arabia said.
Yeah, it was a historical statement. I was there with everybody. Everybody was there. I mean, it was a diverse kind of the desert.
Right.
And it was a historical moment. And I think what the Crown Prince is doing and leading right now, it's maybe the most important thing in the Saudi modern history. It's a reverse of the Islamic Revolution in 1979 in Iran. And instead of, taking us 100 years ago, it's taking us 100 years ahead. And I think that's very important for Saudi Arabia to have such a leader and such a statement.
What are your expectations for Prince Al-Walid?
I know him. I trust him. I think his country has always comes first. So I think he's going to lead that, and he's going to negotiate with the relevant people in the Commission. He has been extremely supportive to the Crown Prince once again from 2 years ago till now, and I think he will continue to be. He's very loyal to his country, to his family. And, I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but I only hope that the Crown Prince, everybody will capitalize and will leverage his outstanding network outside of Saudi to bring more value in Saudi.
Casey, it's good to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much for speaking out. Casey Green, an advisor to Prince Al-Walid and others.